Hello, my name is Maddie Deshard, and this is my Big Book presentation. It's all about the 7 continents. I wanted to create an interactive Big Book to teach my students about the continents and show them just how big our world is. After activating their prior knowledge about the world, I will ask my class to pay close attention as I read my Big Book, because this is no ordinary Big Book. I will ask my students questions as we go, like what animals do you see? Or what do you notice about the picture? Or do you recognize this continent? At some point in the book, I will make sure to blatantly point out that the name of the continent and the continent itself is the same color. I will also point out that in the corner of every page is a color, and it matches the continent. Here is the fun part. I created my Big Book to be interactive so that the pieces of the book actually come off. My lesson is all about the continents, and my students will be learning about the names of the continents, what they look like, what animals might live there. But I also wanted my lesson to be about concepts of print. Things like the cover page, the title, illustrations, the author. These are all things that my students will be learning about throughout this lesson. I noticed that the Velcro dots do not hold together very well, so it may be a good idea to have a few extras on hand, especially if little hands are touching it a lot. On the North America page, I will point out that this is the continent that we live on, and I will ask the students if maybe they have seen these animals before, an eagle or a raccoon. And I will ask them to point where they think we live. In my lesson plan, I outlined that my students will be gathered together on the carpet, working together to reassemble this Big Book. Students will have to pay attention because some animals come off, but some don't. One reason why I color-coded this Big Book is so that any English language learners or struggling readers could still participate by matching the colors. This lesson is also adaptable for gifted learners because the teacher can ask these students more in-depth questions, like what continent is this continent next to? Or what ocean is next to this continent? I really wanted this Big Book to be colorful and interactive to engage all of my students. In my lesson plan, I listed a few other ideas to include in this lesson. You could get one of these beach balls and play a game of pass where when you catch it, you have to name the continent that's on your thumb. It may also be helpful to bring in a globe. Maybe not a glass one like this, but one that the students can touch and have access to. Another interactive idea for this lesson is to have the students come up and circle the continent that they would most like to visit. You can talk to them about the animals that live on that continent and which ones they might want to see, and they can circle it. If you have a laminated map, this works really well because it just washes right off. Thank you for watching my presentation. I had so much fun making this big book, and I can't wait to use it in my future classroom.